Welcome to Focus on Health, a series of educational programs highlighting current health issues sponsored by the School of Nursing at Salisbury University. I'm Dr. Mary DiBartolo, Professor of Nursing at Salisbury University and host of the program. We are here at MAC Incorporated, Area Agency on Aging, and we are doing another show as part of our series on cooking for health, and I welcome Karla Beardsley. You're a dietitian.
Yes.
Here at MAC, you're the Nutrition Program Director.
Right.
And you're here to give us a very interesting display of items regarding fluids for you, how to enhance your fluid intake,
Right.
which is so important.
It is important, 60% of our bodies are made up of fluid, and we lose those fluids and they should be replaced every single day. And that's why we worry about people getting dehydrated and feeling bad. So that's why we bring this topic today.
And especially in the summertime.
Right, and especially for seniors, because they lose their ability to have thirst as they get older. Anybody over 50 actually loses that desire to drink as much as when we're younger.
And our kidneys don't work quite as well with each passing decade.
Right. So fluids are important for so many body functions. Even think about your knees and your hips. All the joints in your body are lubricated by fluids. Your digestive system, the food goes through us, but without the fluids, they can't travel as well. And the nutrients in our foods can't be absorbed as well. So that's another important point. We also know that fluids keep us cool. So on these hot summer days, when we're losing that fluid through perspiration, it's very important to replace that fluid to keep our bodies cooled down.
Now, is it true, you always heard that you need at least 8 glasses of water a day? Is that about right?
That's about right for the person who doesn't eat fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are about 3 cups in our diet. And when you think about a normal person would be 4 to 5 cups of fluid in the form of water, coffee, tea, milk, all the fluids, plus those foods would make up 8 cups.
And you mentioned coffee. Coffee does count. It doesn't dehydrate you.
Coffee is absorbed just like water. It's a very mild diuretic. Same thing with tea and other caffeine foods. So keep that in mind, that it counts as your water, or that count of the 8 cups.
Now, one thing that doesn't count would be beer and wine and alcohol,
right.
Correct?
Beer and wine are going to make you dehydrated. They are going to remove the fluid. They are a diuretic.
Okay. So you wanted to show us some fruits and vegetables and,
right.
and how to get those fluids?
Well, normally we think of our day, like you were mentioning, our day of eating. So when you think, how am I going to get 8 cups in? So you start thinking, well, this is my first in the morning when I wake up, I might want to have a glass of water. So then I'm going to have tea or caffeine to wake me up. Might use milk then on my cereal or make oatmeal with it. Then maybe mid-morning I have a snack of a chocolate milk, or that could also be with my lunch, which could be soup or salads, which are 98% fluid. And so we know that having both salads or soups are good ways to get fluid in. For dinner, I might just have a glass of water again. And before bed, I do want to drink something again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. So that looks, we look at it in that respect, 2 quarts a day is 8 cups.
Okay.
So we can easily get it in without, if we are using foods and fluids that we like. So the biggest thing about remembering and to have fluids is to have the availability. So an easy accessibility. Think about having this in your refrigerator and it's cold, and remind yourself that cold fluids are absorbed faster. And so
then warm,
yes,
with the coffee or tea,
right.
hot coffee or tea.
Variety of temperatures are very important too. But keeping something like this in your refrigerator and even a focus to drink pretty much all of this a day, but you also have other fluids. So that's a good way to keep track of how much you're drinking during the day. Most of us think of water as our primary source of fluid, but we also know there's many foods, and we mentioned some already. But fruits and vegetables are basically high fluids. Some are higher than others. Of course, the orange is going to have more fluid in the apple than the banana.
And of course, watermelon.
Watermelon
other
is
melons.
98% fluid. The vegetables, again, lettuce, celery, cucumbers. These, Mary, are going to be something you could add to foods, to your salad, but they're 98% water. Again,
Or you could just eat some cucumbers with
exactly.
some hummus. Or,
Right.
Yeah.
So we know that the fruits and vegetables have fluids in them, even in the form of frozen. These, of course, do not, the dried fruits, but we're going to show you something different with that. Applesauce is predominantly all fluid. And some of the other peaches, for example, and canned foods are fluids as well.
So it's okay to have the canned
Yes.
versus the fresh.
Yes.
If need be.
Because the fluid is going to be the same. How do you make pudding? You use milk. So milk is the primary ingredient, and so that's your fluid.
Most people would not think of
Right,
pudding as
right.
a fluid.
It is all fluid. And we also know that there's ice cream and yogurt are fluids as well. So when we add those foods to our diet, we're adding fluid, and they actually taste better than just plain water.
Yeah,
And-
speaking of that, I know a lot of people just don't like plain
Right.
water. So how can we make plain water more exciting?
Well, think of if you have a lemon, or even lemon or lime. This is a lime, but just cutting the lime and squeezing it in the water, and that is a good way to get that juice in there and the natural vitamin C that comes along with that. So that's basically going to be lime water. It will not taste sweet, but a person who wants it to be like lemonade could actually put sugar in there and stir that in, and it would taste good. But this is very refreshing. You want to taste?
Sure.
Okay.
I also like cucumber in my water
Right.
too. You can do
So-
cucumber lime.
Right. So let's do that then. And
It is good.
right. When you use cucumber to flavor water, I would suggest that you put it in a food chopper and then run it through a sieve. It's more work. But adding a cucumber or even a stick of celery,
I would not have thought of celery
Right.
in water.
the celery and the whole concoction is going to taste a little bit different with these in here. We stir them up a little bit. Remind yourself that now you're going to taste that.
Sure. That is good.
Better?
I much
Okay.
prefer that to plain water.
Okay, very good. So again, adding things to the water might give you that variety. You can even add fruits to the water. Some people also like to flavor their teas, and if you just had water for tea, that's where the dried fruits can come in. And we're going to make this one taste like pomegranate. It has an infused flavor, but all you do is take a little bit of the dried fruit, put it in the bottom of the teacup. Okay, so now we'll just add water and basically microwave or however, it could
Or
be
you could
hot,
just
hot boiling water.
add some boiling
Right.
water, yeah.
And when you're done, Mary, you can actually eat the dried fruit on the bottom with your spoon. So keep that to
It'll
stir.
be nice and
Yes.
soft then. by
Yes,
then,
it will
yeah.
be nice and soft, but it will taste sweet, but you'll have that vitamin C fortified. It's very inexpensive, cheaper than a tea bag, actually. So that's an idea because there's no caffeine, but a fruit drink. Many people also like to use the juice from their fruits to flavor their fluids. And so again, we would open this, maybe eat the fruit out, save it. You can put it in tea or actually into your cold drink using that juice to flavor the water.
Flavor the water with
Right.
it.
So
Okay.
you're not wasting the juice. For some people, they just eat the fruit thinking the sweet is too sweet. But the combination of fructose and glucose is very quickly absorbed in the body. So that's why we encourage that. We talked about fruits and vegetables. Another way to get a lot of fluid is with dairy foods. So milk, of course, we know is all fluid. Chocolate milk is just as good. This chocolate milk, and you read the nutrient label, is just as healthy for us as an Ensure. It has 11 grams of protein in here, and it's flavored quick and easy to open. It doesn't have the multivitamins that are added but there's an advantage to that because most people take one a day, and then they don't get it from the Ensure or the Boost products. But
And it's much cheaper, I imagine.
much cheaper. This
Yeah.
is, you can purchase these for anywhere from 75 cents to $1, where an
And you
Ensure
should
is
go with
$2.
Oh, okay. And you should go with like the 2% or 1%.
2%, yes, 2% or 1% chocolate milk. If you don't want the convenience, just add chocolate to your milk. And chocolate syrup would be the way to flavor that, or any other flavoring. But one glass of milk is almost the same as one plain Boost or Ensure.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so we would like to say that milk is a very good high-protein, nutritious drink. Soy milk, too, keeping one of these on the shelf if you are having difficulty digesting milk. This is lactose-free and also does not have the milk proteins, which some people have problems with. But soy milk is also high in protein. Almond milk and rice milk, it has to be fortified. It does not have the protein, but those are good drinks as well if you like different variety of milk products. But
Well, there's all kinds of nut milks now.
nut milks,
Cashew
right.
and yeah.
But they don't have the protein that regular cow's milk has. And so we want to keep in mind that it is hard to get enough protein in our food sometimes, so drinking it is good without the expensive products. When we think of all the things that we can have with the milk product, I'd like to talk about yogurt being one of those fluids that has calories, protein, and we can make it into other foods if you don't like just plain yogurt. So today we're gonna make what we call a popsicle, or
With the yogurt.
Yes, and we're gonna put some yogurt into the blueberries. Blueberries can be fresh, can be frozen as we're using today. They stir up and make it nice and pretty. I'm using a vanilla yogurt, so it has some sugar in it. But from here, we're gonna put that into a cup that we can put into the freezer. I wouldn't put glass in my freezer because it has a tendency to break. And I'll let you, when we finish, I'll let you taste this and see how it tastes. Okay, so we're basically gonna put all that in there, and it has such a pretty color. I don't wanna put a metal spoon in the refrigerator either, so we're gonna put this in here, and that's gonna hold your popsicle up. So, see? So when it sits, then we're gonna warm the bottom of this, and we're gonna pop it out.
Okay.
My grandkids would really like that. So.
But are these ideas, especially for older adults, they can get their protein and their fluids
Right,
with
so-
the milk products?
Right. So older adults or anybody on the run, if you want an afternoon protein snack, this would be better than a cookie, or even a
Sure.
soda, which is the sugar drink.
I like a
But-
good chocolate milk in the afternoon.
Yes.
I'll go to the farmer's market some
Right.
afternoons and pick
Yeah,
one up.
Right. But so that's how you can be creative with making fluids into something else. We also want to remember that soup is one of the highest sources of fluid in our diet. It can be a Campbell's or any kind of canned soup. The reason why soups are so good is, number one, it's absorbed because it has sodium, maybe too much sodium. But the chicken provides the potassium, and so you have a balance of potassium and sodium with that fluid, which are more quickly absorbed in the gut. So when you're sick and you're dehydrated, that's why they say have chicken noodle soup and the chicken broth. So any of the broths from the soup are excellent, but we remind people that canned soups when you're sick are okay because of that high salt content. Salt will help you hold the fluids in your body. And we'll set that.
I know, I don't think most people think of soup. I mean, they're obviously liquids, but we think of them more as nutritional meals versus so much helpful in the fluid department. So that's good to know.
Yeah, so you would get fluid with that soup. When you go in a store, you will find that there are all kinds of fluids in the store that are talked about as far as replenishing the body's fluids. Gatorade is most popular. I think for the most part, it has a little bit of of sodium, it has sugar in it, and it has, but it doesn't have potassium. So that's the one nutrient it does lack. And I would say that there are some other ones that have more potassium in them, like this vitamin water. Now the vitamin water doesn't have sodium, so there's not really a perfect one. Keep in mind that Gatorade is high in citric acid, which can also give you problems in your stomach. Vitamin water has supplements of vitamin C and B, but it's a very high source of potassium.
But what about the sugar content? I always get concerned about that. Like this has 32 grams of sugar, and that means if you divide it by 4,
Right.
you know, that's 8 teaspoons of sugar.
There's 8 teaspoons of sugar, and Gatorade has some sugar in it as well. This one is, let's see if we can read it. Sugar is 21. So this one is a larger, same amount, but this one is sweeter. So keep in mind that your fluids will be better absorbed in the stomach if there is some sugar, small amount. If you want one that doesn't have so much sugar, this is very high in potassium, coconut water.
That's very popular right now.
It's popular. It doesn't have a lot of sugar in it, but there's no sodium. So that it's missing the salt. But if you drank this with some chips, then that would work, or saltine cracker. And again, when you drink juice, you might even want to have some juice, or if you buy it in another form, but you could add, to make it taste better, you can add the seltzer water, and that would make it bubbly. Some people love carbonated sparkling drinks. And if you want to make your own or perhaps purchase them. Now this one has very minimal sugar, but it has no calories, but it has the carbonation and a fruit flavor.
But does it also have the artificial sweetener in
Yes.
it?
No artificial,
doesn't?
nothing. Just basically the fruit juice.
But many do.
Right.
And,
Many of them do, and that can cause problems for some people. So again, carrying your own water around, keeping it cold in any way that you think of, little bottles on the bottom or containers like this would work well to keep it cold for your day, or putting ice in it.
Well, these containers are getting very popular,
Yes.
have been popular versus
Right.
drinking a lot of the
Right.
plastic bottles.
Right. We like to see people not using plastic, more of the metal or jars. So, but for the most part, keeping hydrated is important. You can tell by simply checking your pee. And if the color is light yellow, then that's your goal. Or pale yellow is what we would also call that. But a person could also ask themselves, well, how often am I using the restroom? And if it's every 2 hours, that's good. If it's once a day, that means you're not drinking enough.
Right, and the urine becomes more concentrated.
Right.
The kidneys will hold on to it under
And
normal
you can form
conditions.
kidney stones
Yes.
easily too.
And we know with older adults, the
Right.
kidneys don't adjust as well. So that's
Right.
why it's so important to get fluids in.
And the other thing too with not getting enough fluids, it will cause fatigue and will cause dizziness. So with our senior population, that's a very much a concern in terms of fall prevention.
Yes.
Yeah. So here we go, Mary. I put this out of the freezer, and I'm going to tear down the sides of it so that we can easily give you a taste of this.
So you put a little cut in the top with a
Cut a little
knife,
cut
and
it.
you microwaved it for a few seconds?
Yes, just for a few seconds because it was so frozen solid. But we can
Okay.
peel it around like this, and
Wow.
and then what we can
That's a
do is
big pop.
it's a big pop. But again, you can eat it. It's an ice cream cone for you.
Oh my God, that's delicious.
Isn't that good?
Very good. Well, it's like
Yes.
frozen yogurt,
Right.
you know, with a very strong blueberry flavor.
But you might also want to have a dish next to it. But the beauty of frozen desserts are that you can eat them slowly, and in the summer, and
That would
you've
be
got
so
the,
refreshing.
right. You've got the fresh fruit, and you can. But again, you probably you can make them smaller than that too. But that's how that one turned out.
That's a big serving.
Well, I hope
But
you
it's
enjoyed it.
delicious.
Good.
It's terrific.
Good.
I mean, it's a great idea.
And of course, if you have anybody to entertain, they might like to have it in a dish, but that would be fun for children.
I was going to say kids would love that.
Yes, kids
And
would
that'd be a
love
nice alternative to ice cream.
Right.
Would you like to tell us before we sign off just about some of the nutritional programs you have here for
MAC?
the older adults at MAC?
Yes. For one, we basically have a meal that 4 days a week. We have a noonday meal that we serve a balanced lunch, hot foods, salad foods, all kinds of foods. And anybody can come and have lunch here. We have to have a registration in the morning, so call before 10 so that we know you're coming for lunch. And basically we'd like to also show you other programs that we have here at the MAC Center.
And what's the fee for that lunch?
We can't charge, or we don't charge for the fee, but basically it's a suggested donation of $2.50. So
I've been here for lunch. It's a very nice meal.
yes. So, but we would like to have you join in on some of the activities or just come for lunch. Other than that, if you are homebound, of course we have our home delivered meal program. And for those people, we will deliver those meals to your home 4 days a week. We have education programs, and I provide that education in the senior center as well as one-on-one. So if anybody needs help individually, they can call and get an appointment with me.
Now, we call them older adults, but what age are you eligible to come here and use MAC services?
Basically 60 and older.
60. Okay.
Yes.
That's good to know.
Yes, it is. So, but we serve people that are younger than 60. However, our government funds encourage us to work with those that are over 60.
Well, very nice. You do a lot of wonderful things here
Thank you.
at MAC, and I very much appreciate you coming on the program and discussing this important topic of hydration.
Right. It is important for all of us. It's a very important food and important for our body.
Well, thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Karla. And thank you for joining us for this edition of Focus on Health here on PAC 14.